everybody. Welcome to Coffee Hour. It's Thursday, my friends. We've made it almost to the end of the week. Thanks, Ollie, for joining me here on Coffee Hour and sharing with all your friends the number of the stats of the show and the replays and the rewatches are all going amazingly well. So again, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join me here on Coffee Hour. Get your day started, whatever your favorite beverage may be. Mine happens to be coffee. And this right here is one of our mugs that are available over on our website if interested in that. But again, thanks for joining me. Welcome to Coffee Hour. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Paul Abernathy. I am CEO and founder of Electrical Code Academy. I consult to companies all over the country. I'm also director of technical services for Encore Wire Prismium, about a $18 billion company, and I oversee their technical division. And of course, I run and guide the ship here at Electrical Code Academy, and I do videos on all types of topics. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me. Also, remember today's show is sponsored by TradeHog. If you want to get a great AI tool to help you find answers to your technical questions in the field really quickly, TradeHog's the answer to that. It's just a monthly subscription. You can cancel at any time. I recommend the basic plan. It gives you most all, and you don't really have any limitations. But again, there you go. All right. As always, I live vicariously through all of our folks that join us, all of our students, all of our Fast Tracks members, all of our viewers, whether you subscribe to our programs or not. You come here to get some education and get your morning started. I appreciate all of you. Now, we are streaming on multiple platforms. LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Fast Tracks Tube, which is our proprietary video platform. And we're also over on Instagram as well, if you want to watch there. So, as always, let me know who you are, where you're from, what you got going on, and we'll share that with everybody and get everybody's juices flowing. And I've got some exciting stuff to do today. Not only are we going to pick up some more basics, some basic stuff. This is Basics Week. But we're also going to look at a product that has just launched. They just got their UL listing. They came to me probably two and a half years ago with a concept. And it's all started, I think, from a video that I did where I was talking about where you can't bring all those NM cables through a big old connector or a big old TA. And people say, well, we do it all the time. Well, the code requires that every cable be secured to the enclosure. And it only gives you allowance not to do that when you're dealing with things like a 2 1/4 by 4 inch box. So other than that, when you bring a cable to a box, you have to secure it to the box. And I remember they reached out to me and I gave them some advice. And we had some conversations back and forth. Well, they went in, took the product, gave it a name. As you can see right here, I'm wearing some of their swag, Wire Waffle. I think that it is I think that I have to do a little more review. I'm looking at the product. And I haven't even seen it. Although the concept, we knew what we were going for, but I haven't even seen it. But I'm getting ready to introduce it to you live today on this show. I mean, I haven't even opened the box yet, so we're going to be doing it. But I got some neat stuff from them. I want to thank them. I got some hats. I got a bunch of waffle-oriented products, right? Food. They want to get me fat. I don't realize that I'm a diabetic, but I'm eating all the food. I don't care. I'm eating it all, even though it's got sugar and all in it. I don't give a squat. I'm going to eat it. But again, a shout out to Hunter Francine at Wire Waffle for sending me the hat and a bunch of goodies. And of course, we have the Wire Waffle, and we're going to look at it. I'm going to show you what problem it solves and why I think it's the best solution based on so many people violating the code out there, that this can be an absolute game changer for many people just to be compliant. All right, I'm going to read the letter that they sent just because I think it's a very nice letter that they sent. And so I wanted to shout out to this here. And I've got some advice that I'm going to give them on their installation guide, just to hammer home more important stuff. So anyway, may or may not do that for them again. They seem to have it nailed down pretty good. So anyway, it says the letter, by the way, is Very nice. It says, "Dear Paul Abernathy, please accept these wire waffles and swag as our sincere gratitude for your patience as we brought this innovative product to life. We are absolutely thrilled to finally receive our UL listing and share it with you before it hits the shelves." Absolutely. Okay. It says the wire waffle is designed to revolutionize the way we connect NM cables to electrical panels. Its unique design offers unparalleled versatility by connecting up to 16 non-metallic sheath cables with a single connector in a standard trade size knockout that comes factory punched into every modern electrical panel or can be field punched to accommodate. Okay. We believe that the wire waffle, you heard it here first, hashtag wire waffle. We believe that the wire waffle will not only enhance your professional work, but also significantly boost your social media engagement as it pertains to a very hot topic currently. Okay. And I started that hot topic, by the way, a couple of years ago with me and a home inspector and causing a bunch of problems for that home inspector. Okay, because again they were promoting something that or calling out something that or installing something they thought was okay and is accepted in their jurisdiction as Arizona, but that's not what the code said. Okay, so that's where this all started, and so I love it. I love it when an entrepreneur takes an idea, a simple idea, and says, you know what? How do I solve this? I did the same thing with the hybrid cable for a Prysmian and Encore wire. I said, you know what? You whack jobs out there that sit on the standards councils. I say that with all due respect because I am one. You would not allow tray cable to be used everywhere that SE cable can be used, even though it's basically the same kind of inner conductors. It's the same kind of cable. In fact, the sheathing is twice as thick as an SE, but you'll let me run SE cable anywhere in a building, but you won't let me run tray cable, and it's exactly the same inner conductors, THHN or XHHW. But the reason they didn't do that is because it affects their market share, right? Because the company that was against it makes MC cable, and they don't make a tray cable, so they don't want to see the expansion of tray cable because it hurts their market. I'm against that. I'm against all of that concept, right? If it's better for the consumer, if it's better for the electrician to give them more options, I'm all about the options, okay? So anyway, I love entrepreneurs that take something and say, you know what, let's do something. So kudos to Hunter for his work on that. All right, it says, obvious problem-solving design is sure to captivate audiences, inspire significant shares and likes with a simple photo, not to mention the performance of a time-lapse video of the major labor savings. And I'll talk about it from a code perspective as well today. So again, I want to get into that. We're going to do some basics today, so don't worry. And we're almost done, ready for our drawing. Jeff has got all the names sectioned out and everything, and it's going to be in a drawing. So look for that to come. Probably over the weekend, you'll see a notice of a show that'll say winners and winners drawing, that type of thing. So that's coming. Again, it's only taken us about 4 or 5 days to get that sorted out, but don't worry, it's covered. That's why we're doing no hashtag win today, because we don't, there's no drawings, but make sure you do hashtag wire waffle. There you go. Wire waffle. Okay, it could have been called cable waffle. All right, anyway, go out there real quick. Get that URL, cable waffle, just so you know. All right, anyway, the following page is an instructional guide with information on code references that should address any potential concerns with the product. We eagerly anticipate hearing from your creative experience with the wire waffle. Please share your comments and creations with us on social media at hashtag wire waffle. So make sure you all go on all of your social media channels and do hashtag wire waffle. And after that, tell them Paul sent you. So do hashtag master the NEC as well. Okay. Anyway, so very nice letter. Okay. Very nice letter. All right. So then it does come with this nice, this nice page that gives you instructions. Okay. Hard to see that there, but there's a nice page of instructions. Talks about removing the knockout or field punch, that type of thing. Okay. All right, makes sense. Gives all the code references on here, 334.6, because this is obviously a listed product now. We'll look at all that. It also says here, the wire waffle can be installed in the interior or exterior of a panel enclosure. So interior or exterior, so remodel aspects. If you have a bunch of them coming in, you can do it from the inside. That's great. Let's see here. What else? It is listed to be installed on the rear of an exterior panel that mounts directly to the structure and is sealed around the enclosure. The materials used to produce the fitting has passed the UL fire and flame test and does not require any additional sealant for unused holes. That means if you're not using all of the holes in the wire waffle, it's okay. Kind of the same way on a box. If you don't use all the knockouts, it ain't like you got to go around and seal all the damn knockouts, right? So great. All right. Let's see. The wire waffle has multiple issued utility patents with an additional one patent and a pending trademark. Absolutely. Okay. I would give advice to anybody. They should definitely go trademarking it and doing everything they need to do. All right. So I like it. Wire waffle. Okay. So then it comes with this, you got this nice sheet. Okay. And it also go to wirewaffle.com, by the way, if you want to check. So there's some examples right there of you see it coming in. So this solves an issue, right? And so the issue was trying to bring all those non-metallic sheet cables into the back of a panel or into the top of a panel. And the problem is they don't meet the requirements of 312.5c. They have to be secured. And so in this scenario, that becomes a problem. And we have to make sure that we meet this issue. Now, there is an exception, but it has many steps, and it is pretty hard to meet in a residential application, to be honest with you. So this solves. So let's go on, and before I get even into anything, I want to get this, guys, and talk about the wire waffle and show it to you. So I haven't seen it. And so here it is. I'm unboxing it live for you guys. Here it is, wire waffle. And Hunter sent it to me. Hopefully he's benefited from our previous conversations. All right. Got the wire waffle sticker. Show your pride. Okay. People love their stickers. So there you go. All right. There's a bunch of them in here. So we'll just get one. All right. So let's see here. Another little wire waffle sticker. You know what? Maybe what we'll do is we'll add the wire waffle to a drawing, and when we start next month giveaways, and I'll give away a couple wire waffles for you folks to try. How about that? We'll do a giveaway for the wire waffle. So let's look at it real quick here. Let me move all this to the side, and we've got our instructions. So here's what it looks like. Okay. It's very simple. So basically it is taking up, and I'll just double check it real quick because I always like to look for markings, see what's marked. Okay, so there you go. There's your wire waffle, and there, okay, you won't be able to see it, but there's the UL mark, that right there. You see it kind of glowing in there? That's the UL mark. That'll make inspectors happy. It's so much better than trying to go into the back of a panel and just bring them all in a TA. Now you have this product. So this product, as you can see, will snap right in, and basically it's the same type of innard that you would get on some of the plastic boxes that you get. Okay, I think it's ingenious. I think that it's going to solve an issue. Now, one of the things we look at is let's see here. So I've got some. Now, it also says on here, it says the wire waffle offers compliance to code references like 334.6 and 312.5c that are currently being violated because a better solution was not available until now. Okay. Bundling is not considered an issue with the cable entering through the wire waffle because the cable must be spread out and secured within 12 inches of every enclosure, 334.30. Absolutely. So within 8 inches, as we'll look at probably on our basics, and we've looked at it before, if you're not securing it to the box. Well, they're being secured to the box. So if you look at the requirements for, and they're going to be coming through, they're not bundled together, there is spacing. One interesting thing about the spacing rule is spacing doesn't say how much the spacing has to be, okay? It doesn't matter how much the spacing, as long as they're not touching. So when he contacted me about, I guess it's been about 2 years ago or whatever, I gave some advice, and this is what you've got. Okay, now Wire Waffle Hunter. Since it's not launched yet, I am more than happy to endorse this product. Since we started out, and I am more than happy to give the Paul Abernathy endorsement for this product to meet this need. It's clearly going to meet that need. I think every one of these openings can handle up to 2 14-2s or 12-2s. I think you just put one 10-3 or something like that in the one opening. So for single cables, it allows 14 through 6-3, okay? And then for dual cables, it's a 14-2 and a 14-2, or 14-2 and a 14-3, a 14-3 and a 14-3, a 12-2 and a 12, a 14-2 and a 12-2, a 14-3 and a 12-2, and a 12-2 and a 12-2 per opening. So very versatile. I can see in a lot of these panels, you got the 2 large knockouts at the top. So again, it's going to allow you to potentially get up to 16 14-2s or 12-2s into it through here, okay? And so this is going to fit a standard knockout. So if I look in here, it says that it's a 2.5 inch. So remove the factory punched 2.5 inch knockout, or you can punch your own, okay? And it says install the waffle in the knockout by pressing it firmly in place with all 4 retention snaps are secured. So it's got these little retention snaps on it. I don't know if you can see that. And they'll actually, let me move it over here. There you go, to the background. There you go. See those little tips? It will snap in just like your normal plastic insert connectors, okay? Push the cables into the opening. Again, make sure that you have at least 1/4 inch of insulation extending in. I would probably have them add that. I don't know if that's in here or not, but I'll just remind them, just for compliance to your instructions, make sure you state that you make sure that you have 1/4 inch of sheathing beyond the clamp. I would add that here because there's always that one person. You know what I'm saying? There's always that one person that'll say, but you didn't tell me, you know, whatever. All right, anyway, like that. So anyway, great example is right here in the pictures, okay? Right here in the pictures. And if you go and talk to them or whatever, tell them Paul sent you. You know, there it is, 2.5 inch KO. I'm sure that since they'll get the patent, they may make these in different sizes or you know, maybe bigger ones. I don't know. You know, I don't really see a need to be any bigger than that. That's the factory, what you would get. So anyway, that is Wire Waffle. And if you want to see, they do have a website. And I'll go on and share it right here. If I can get it to work. So there you go. There's your Wire Waffle right there. Okay. And you can go check them out. You can purchase them right there now. Right here. Shop now. There you go. Here's a wire. We can watch this video if you want. Let's do this video real quick. Demo. Oh, he's taking out the secure. That keeps them in place. All right, look at that. Putting 2 through there. And he's doing this one from the inside. Well, that makes it easy, right? Dude. Pull your cables through the hole. Oh, there you go. There's one in the back. All right. There's pushing it through the top. Standard KO. And you can push them in, pull them in. So good for retroactive, pushing them in through the top. Or if you're working and you're trying to fit one in, you can come in from the bottom. And I'll tell you from an electrician's standpoint, let me tell you something from an electrician's standpoint. You might say, well, have you ever tried to fish in something in a wall in a panel and it's sheetrock's and everything up, and you wish you had a bigger hole? Well, I can tell you what I would use for one of these, because it saves your world. I wouldn't care that I have all these openings if I was doing a retrofit and I could get into the top. If I had a couple coming in through the middle, and you may have the service coming in, but you have the one on the bottom, and maybe you need to get something in, then I would have no problem just knocking out the bigger one because it gives me more room to work, and then snap this thing in. And even if I only pulled one cable up through this bad boy, then it gives me more room to work if I have a bigger one. Other than that, you're going to use your regular 3/4 or whatnot. But I can see many possibilities for this, even in retrofit applications, that type of thing. So now, I would think it would be neat for Wire Waffle, if I'm giving you more advice, come up with a line of these. And when I say a line, is make one for 1 inch that will let me put 4 cables in it. Make one for 1.5 that will let me get like 6 in there. Optimize it and come up with a line of not just the 2.5, but come up with a whatever the standard size KOs above trade size 1. Okay, or 1 inch, excuse me, 1 inch. Okay, so knockout. I would do that. Obviously, you can get these done. So that's a future if you want to expand the line for a Wire Waffle. But again, it's going to be great because I can knock out a larger hole. Okay, they should be the color of the waffle. Well, I will be honest with you. As far as productions, it's probably cheaper to blow mold these things in black in mass quantities. So maybe if you start buying a bunch of them, the guy will, he'll change, whatever, colors. But at any rate, black tends to be a lot better also because it usually has some type of carbon in it, whatever, so it can pass the flame tests and a little easier, maybe, that type of thing. Okay, so anyway, all right, so there you go. So that is the Wire Waffle. So congratulations to Wire Waffle. Go check them out at wirewaffle.com. And congratulations to Hunter Francine for coming up with the Wire Waffle. I think it's great. I think that it will meet a need. I think you're UL listed, so that removes all of the people's concerns about that. And I can see that there is no reason anymore for you folks to punch out a big knockout, right? Burnt waffle, Judah. There's no reason for you to violate the code anymore. You have a solution, so there's no excuses. And they can't cost that much. You know what I'm saying? Okay? All right. Feed the Wire Waffle to the hog. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to ask the hog about it because they're not even out on the market really fully yet. That type of thing. So anyway, congratulations to Wire Waffle. Check them out. I wholeheartedly endorse this concept and this product. And I'm glad to see that they pushed through and brought it to market. I love it. I love that type of thing. Okay, real quick, guys, let's go and do some shout outs real quick. I didn't do that. So let's do some shout outs. Good morning, folks. Tino, I did get your donation, Tino, over on Let's Ask Paul. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You didn't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. We thank you. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Adam. Thanks for joining us. Pints of coffee today. Absolutely. No, the word of the day is not crawfish. The word of the day is hashtag Wire Waffle. Hashtag Wire Waffle. That's the word of the day. What's up, Cray Cray? Thanks for joining me. Tino, let's see here. What's up? No crawfish today. Okay, Wire Waffle. Wire Waffle. Hashtag Wire Waffle. Just like that right there. Okay. Good morning, Kendra. Thanks for joining me. Born to Plum. Getting your electrical knowledge on. Thanks for joining us. Christopher is in the house. Good morning. Let's see here. What else we got? Eric's in the house. Good morning, Eric. Thanks for joining me this morning. Excellent Mastermind is in the house. Never seen that one on here before. So again, welcome to the show. Morning, getting your coffee going. What's up, Erie? Robert down in San Antonio. Thanks for joining us this morning. Rob over on the Fast Tracks Tube. That must be working this morning from Muddy, Iowa. You getting rained out? Let's see here. Peter Labita. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here. Dave Scott. Dave, your wallet's coming out in the mail. Been a little delay on the shipping here. I am out in the country, so that is coming out. So thank you for purchasing that. Manny. And I can show it to you, David, if you want to see it. Manny wearing that green, sporting us at the Code Nerd. Thank you for coming out. There's Paul. Hashtag Wire Waffle, folks. Shout it out on all your social media. Let them know. Good morning, Rob. Love the flag as always. What is up, Jamal? Is that it, Jamal? thank you for joining us down in South Carolina. Love having you here. I see all the wire waffles. Blue waffle. I don't know about blue waffle. Let's see here. Judith says, I might just eat some waffles. All right, well, wire waffle, okay? No longer need to violate the code. You can secure all of your non-metallic sheath cables to the box like the code requires. Hey, Alex, thanks for joining me. Glad to have you here on the show. Love all those hashtag wire waffle. Samantha L., thanks for joining us. Love having you here. Red Dog's in the house. Thank you, Red Dog. Thanks for being here. Manny says he's craving the wire waffle now. Got to try them out, guys. If you're be jamming all those cables and do videos and take your videos and send your videos to me, I'll share them on here for the folks at Wire Waffle. No, I'm not a paid sponsor. No, I don't get commissions. No, I'm not affiliated with them. Okay, that type of thing. But I will endorse them if they're interested. They can say it's endorsed product by Paul Abernathy, whatever that gets them. Anyway, there you go. So, Joseph, thanks for joining us, my friend. Let's see here. Good morning, Charles. Charlie, good morning. Hope everybody's going fine. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, wait a minute. Good morning, Angel. I'm going to get into my lesson here in a second here. What is that? Charlie says, War waffle? Did you mistype? Are you trying to call me a whore waffle? What the hell are you talking about? Come on now. All right, Richard's in the house. Wire waffle, Anaheim. Good morning, DJ Jones from DC. Over on Fast Tracks Tube. Thank you for joining us on there. Okay. Good morning, Chris Pena. Good morning. Okay, let's get to today's lesson, guys. Let's go. I spent a lot of time today. So today I want to talk about it from additional thing. Remember, we were talking basics, and we've been working our way up through the basics. And so just a couple basic things that we also cover very frequently is when you're looking at these nail-up boxes and what does this different stuff mean and all this kind of stuff. What's up, Yuki? Is that it, Yuki? Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here. All right, so some additional markers. So some of you get these nail-up boxes and you use them and you'll see the cubic inches in there. And we have talked about cubic inches and the fact that the conductors take up a value of cubic inch, right? And so a lot of the plastic boxes, okay, have this additional marking in the box right here. Good morning, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. All right, so you're saying, well, what does this mean? Well, this is telling you the number of those specific conductors that can be in this box. So, for example, I can have 9 14s in this box and not exceed 18 cubic inches. I can have 8 12s in this box and not exceed 18 cubic inches. I can have 7 10s in this box and not exceed 18 cubic inches. Now, one of the things to remember, and I tell people all the time, that if I have 18 cubic inches and I have a receptacle in here, okay, it's going to take up 2 of these. If they're 14 gauge going to the receptacle, then this 9, then 2 of these conductors are going to be taken up by the device, right? So that means instead of having 9 14s in here, if I have a receptacle in here, then I take that 9 and take 2 away. So that's 9, 8, 7. Then I can have up to 7 14 conductors in here because the device counts as 2 conductors, or what we say in the code, double volume. Okay, so it means the same thing. So you see something that says double volume, then what does it say? Well, then it means it's a 2 conductor count. That's just a fancy way of saying it, right? Okay. Now, the maximum number of conductors apply only if the box does not contain any fittings or devices. So again, these boxes are designed, and if you get this stamped on it, it already takes into consideration the internal securement mechanism and all that kind of stuff, and the cubic inches. It already takes consideration of all that when it comes to the volume, okay? So some non-metallic boxes are marked with the maximum number. Again, that's this little thing here, but not all of them are, okay? That's not required. This is not required to be in there. This is the cubic inches, but this is not. So this is nifty. And if you know how to do Raceway, that's pretty quickly. And inspectors, it's great if they can see it. Is like, okay, you can have 9 14s in there. Well, you got 1 device in there. Okay, so that takes up 2 conductors. So now I'm down to 7 14s. So if I bring in 2 14-2s, that's black and a white, and one equipment ground. So that's 5. Okay, so I'm okay there. But can I have 2 14-2s coming in and a device? Okay, well, let's see. The device counts as 2, so that 9, 8, 7. And then I've got 2 NMs, so that's black and white, and equipment ground, so that's 5. So can I bring in 3 14-2s and have a device in here? Okay, so that would be 3 whites, 3 blacks, so that's 6, plus 1 for the equipment ground, because we're not more than 4. So that's 7. And then, of course, the device is a double volume, so that's 8, 9. So I could have up to 3 14-2s coming into this box and 1 receptacle. And it would still be not exceeding 18 cubic inches. That makes sense? So you see how that works? Okay, so that's great to have those markings on there. So just kind of be aware of that. Now, I can tell you right now, I never used 18 cubic inch boxes. I always used 22 cubic inch or 20. I needed to get a little more, that type of thing. Word of the day, wire waffle, hashtag wire waffle, word of the day. Okay, all right, so I'm just saying. All right, so again, we just did this when doing box fill, right? For this in basic everyday electrical work. It says the box fill calculation of this box is 7 12s. So let's look at it. Because 8 12 conductors are permitted, okay? So 8. So down here we see that 12, you can have 8 12s in it, okay? 8 12s. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And we got 7. And so here it says the box calculation, this box is 7. Because 8 can fit, this is compliant. The moment you threw this device in this bad mamma jamma, the moment you threw it in there, what's up, Beto? I see you in the house. All right, moment you threw it in there, now how many do you have? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The equipment grounds is 7, and I got 8, 9. All right, and now I'm violating it by 1. Okay. All right, so the 3 equipment grounds, they only count as 1. Okay, they only count as 1. And then installing a device in this box violates 314.16 because the calculated number is 12 conductors and this box is 7. And the device counts as 2. Okay. That's when we say double volume. That just means the volume of a conductor times 2. Okay, right? So Tino says, go to a deeper box. Yeah, I would not use this 18 cubic inch box in this case. So I would jump up to a 20 cubic inch, 22 cubic inch box. Again, it's going to be fine in the normal 2x4 stud, which is really not 2x4, by the way. Only about 3.5, but deep. But anyway, will work fine. It'll fit in there. Boom. But this case, violation. And folks probably violate this all the time, but people don't check it. You know, if you buy the cheap 18 cubic inches, spend a little more money, man. Go on and buy a 22 cubic inch or something like that. Okay. Real quick, as far as the equipment grounds go, I do to get this as a basic question that people ask, so I figured we ought to knock this out just to talk about it as basics, because we're talking basics. It doesn't matter whether it's a metal box or a plastic box. The same concept applies where you have up to 4 equipment grounding conductors in a box, then it's only 1 single volume allowance, okay? And so in this case, if all of these were entering, whether it's a nail-up box, whether it's a 2-gang box, 3-gang box, 4-gang box, it doesn't matter. If your equipment grounds that are coming in, you have up to 4 of them, they count as 1 volume count, okay? And it's based on the largest equipment ground that's coming into the box. So even if I have 12s and 14 coming into the box, I'm going to use 12s for my volume count, okay? So it says we're up to 4 equipment grounding conductors into a box. A single volume allowance in accordance with table 314.16b1 shall be made based on the largest equipment grounding conductor into the box. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether I happen to have 12s and 14s coming into the box. We're going to be using 12 for our calculation. It says a quarter volume allowance shall be made for each additional equipment grounding conductor that enters the box when you over 4. So if you had 5 coming in here, then it'd be a quarter of the volume. So that's a quarter of the volume, okay? Not a 0.25. It's not a quarter like a quarter of one. It's a quarter of whatever the volume. So whatever the cubic is. So for example, if it was a 2 cubic inches, right? And that was the, oh, my calculator. Oh, almost didn't work. So a quarter volume. So if you had 2 cubic inch and we divide that by 4, that's a 0.50. So that is a quarter. Okay. So it's not 0.25. Don't think that this is 0.25. It's a quarter of the volume allowance based on the conductors, that type of thing, right? Okay. So if I have 5 equipment grounds coming in, it's 1 cubic. So if they're 12s, then you're having a 2.00 cubic inch. And let's go on real quick and take you to that so that you can see that real quick. I like to share this stuff in the code just so you can see it as far as the volumes. Okay, let me share it with you really quick. May work, may not. Doesn't look like it's coming, so I will do like I normally do. There's me in the background. All right, so here we go. So here's your volumes, right? And what we're talking about is when we get down here, okay? So we're talking about the equipment grounds. Where are we at? Right here, right here. That's what we're talking about, right here, okay? So it says a quarter volume allowance shall be made for each additional equipment grounding conductor that enters the box based on the largest equipment grounding conductor entering the box, okay? All right, so that's what we've got for that. Now, if you come up here, you'll see your volume allowances, right? So if we're doing, let's say we're doing 12s, then it's 2.25. If I was doing 14s, then it'd be 2.00, right? So in our case, let's just do 14. So I have 5 14s coming in, and we know the multiplier is 2.00, okay? Then we're saying, well, what is the volume that I'm going to add for the equipment ground? Since I have 5 coming in. Well, they're 12 gauge. Okay. So the quarter, so you get 2.00 for 1 equipment ground. And then every 1/4 is a quarter of the volume per. So a quarter of 2.00 is 0.50. So what is the volume that we're going to use in our box fill for the equipment grounds? It's going to be 2.00 for the up to 4, and then it's 0.5 for the one that's over 4. So it's going to be 2.50 is my volume when I'm doing the box fill, when I'm accounting for the equipment grounds. That's how you do it in the 2023 edition of the NEC. Oh, in case I haven't told you, we are definitely on the 2023 edition of the NEC. Is my hat crooked? I want to make sure I look stylish. Okay. All right. Back to the lesson. All right. So that's how we're doing it. Okay. Now, another thing to point out, pigtails don't count, that type of thing. If they originate, they don't come into the box, but they originate in the box, like jumpers or pigtails, things like that, or equipment bonding jumpers, they do not count for volume, okay? Lock nuts do not count for volume. Wire nuts do not count for volume, okay? Dividers do count for volume. If you have a divider that's separating the space from maybe a low voltage versus regular voltage, like a 120, and you have some low stuff, they do have a volume, and that's all over on 314.16, okay? And if you don't know how to do box fill, we got a great video over on Fast Track's Tube about box fill, and we cover all of the nuances in box fill. Okay, should be no reason for you to get that wrong, and especially no reason for you to fail an inspection because of box fill. I'm just saying. All right, how many outlet boxes contain? When an outlet box contains 3, this is your chance, folks. Hashtag wire waffle. When an outlet box contains 3 12 AWG equipment grounding conductors, how many of these must be counted for the box fill purposes? 0, 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Should be easy one here, folks. It should be easy for you to be involved. All right. Pretty simple. Let's see if you're awake out there. You have an outlet box. Tino's in the house. Okay. Only had 3 of them. All right. Y'all are awake. There you go. Only counts as 1. All right, good job. Good job. I knew y'all were awake. All right, So this is the example for when you have more than 4. And this is a great example to look at right here. Kendra says 3. Wrong, Kendra. All right, so the first 4 count as 1 conductor. So it's just 1 volume. And in this case, we had 2 additional ones. So Kendra, it is 2 is what the 14 volume is, okay? And then we got this volume. So again, here, since we got 2 of them, okay? So we're just doing 2 times a quarter, which is a half, which equates to 0.5, okay? We did a 12 gauge, so this is a 14 gauge, that's why. All right, so 2 times 0.5 is 1, so it's an additional 1 cubic inch, okay? So take the 2, which is for the 1 conductor, it's a 14, it's 2 cubic inches, that's what it says, okay? And then you add the additional inch, that's the quarter volume for the 2 extra 14 conductors, okay? And that's how you get 3 inches. So this would be, in your box fill, this would be 3 cubic inches of equipment grounds, okay? Does that make sense? That's confusing, let me know. We'll cover it, okay? All right, let's see here. Let's see if I want to say we're doing basics. We're just covering this one again. So I get a lot of questions in box fill as well in residential basics. And they say, well, Paul, if I have a box, even if it's a 2-gang box, a single gang box, it's a double volume allowance based on the size of the conductor that's supplying the device, okay? And so if I'm doing a box fill, and let's say that both of these, if I can get, I don't really have an example, but let's say that both of these are in the same box. It's a 2-gang box, okay? It's a 2-gang nail up. And 14's going to this device, and 12's going to this device. So the double volume count for this device would be 2 14s. So 2.00 is the volume. And so this device would count as 4 cubic inches, okay? Because it's 2, for the wire is 14, it's 2.00 cubic inches for a 14 gauge. So this is called a double volume for the device. So it's 2.00 times 2. So this device would be 4 cubic inches of volume just for the device. The wires are counted separately when they enter into the box. So we're just talking device, right? So this device in your box fill, in that 2-inch, that 2-gang nail-up box, this one is still a double volume, but this is based on the 12 gauge. And the 12 was 2.25, right? So this is 4.5 cubic inches for this device. Now remember, the wires coming into the box get counted separately, okay? And you saw how we just did the equipment ground, so that's done separately. So the device gets done separately. And oh, by the way, it doesn't matter if it's a simplex. And I don't see Mr. Simplex in here today. It doesn't matter if it's a simplex. It's still based on a double volume, okay, on this strap. Okay, makes sense? All right, now, as far as box fill, I won't get into all the little nuances of box fill, but if we did the math on this one, just for craps and giggles, and it's residential, but it's a metal box. Let's say you're doing it in the basement. I don't want no haters out there. All right, so in this case, you count the conductors coming in. Now, in this case, it looks like the raceway in the box is being used as an equipment ground because I don't see any in here, and that's perfectly okay. 250-118 allows me to use EMT, enlisted fittings as an equipment ground, so nobody make comments about that because it's unnecessary. All right, so coming in, we've got 1 black. Now, we'll talk about this conductor in a second. Okay, we'll talk about this in a second. So here I've got 1 for this red, 1 for this red, so that's 2. Okay, 2. I got this white coming in, that's 3. I got this white coming in, that's 4. Now, if this black right here is less than 12 inches in length, then it just counts as 1, right? Then that would be 5 conductors, okay, for our volume, okay? So if these were 12s, for example, it would be 1 for this red, 1 for this red, one for this white, one for this white, and it would only be one for this loop if this is what? Less than 12 inches in length, okay? Because free conductor rules require you to have 6 inches. So if it's less than 12, then it wouldn't meet the free conductor rule. And if they splice it, that type of thing. Now, they could make it meet that. But the way the rule is written right now is that this right here would only count as one conductor. So if that's the case, I only have 5, right? Right? I would not put, this does not count. This is just a jumper, equipment bonding jumper over to a device. This little pigtail right here does not count. Wire nuts do not count. These lock nuts do not count. So if I was doing the volume here, then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the total, 5. So I would be, if it's 12s, I'd be 2.25 times 5. And that is 11.25 cubic inches. Now, probably this box, if we were to look at the size of this box, this is 4 by 4 by 1.5, right? So where do we go to see what the volume is for this box? All right, it's a metal box, right? So since it is a metal box, we can go over here and use this table right here, okay? This table right here, if I can get you where you can see the damn thing, is right here. So this table right here, this is for metal boxes. And our box was a 4 by 4 by 1.5 square. So let's see here. So we can look here and see, we got square. So we're going to say here is 4 by 1.5 square. It's not giving all the dimensions. That's fine. But that is typically what we're dealing with. And that is a 21 cubic inch. So obviously there's no issue here for that. Okay. Not a problem. Makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I want it to make sense. It's just that easy, folks. Good morning, Douglas. All right. All right. So let's see. So that's all good and fine and dandy. Oh, by the way, your clamps in a box count as one unless it's, if it's a plastic box, then it already integral, then it's not the same. These clamps that are on the outside do not count. Okay, so if I have a plastic box with an integral clamp and it's posted with its volume, then it's already taken into consideration. You don't have to make it brain surgery. Okay. Now, for these metal boxes, for example, that have the internal clamps, you don't do it. It's basically count as one conductor, but you don't do it for each one. It's just one. So it's just one additional conductor. Okay. And it's based on the largest conductor that's in the box, enters the box. Okay. These are Hickeys and studs, luminaire studs. They count as what? They count as one conductor, right? And basically, it's the largest conductor in the box. And again, if you have both in the box, each are counted separately, right? And you're not going to get more than one in a box, by the way. You're not going to get more than one of these in a box or more than one of these in a box, okay? And you're probably going to get none of these in a box because you probably don't use them anymore. But really heavy luminaires may have some form of a luminaire stud or whatnot that takes up volume in the box. And if it does, it doesn't have to look like this. But if it's supported through a center stud or something in the middle, then it absolutely takes up volume so that it basically counts as one based on the largest conductor entering the box. And it's in 314.16b3. By the way, if you're in our Fast Tracks program, again, you will appreciate the fact that we call out the chevrons, call out the code so you can go back and forth when you're looking at box fill. Okay. This is something that was added into 2023. Again, if you have a box and it has a terminal block in it, okay. Right, so each terminal block is sized based on the largest conductor terminating to the assembly, and it's just a single volume account for the largest conductor. Okay. So if these were all 12s, it just counts for one volume count for 12. Basically like a device does, but that's a double volume. This is just a single volume. And we covered the devices. And these are just your sizes. Y'all are well familiar with the sizes. Hashtag wire waffle. Hashtag wire waffle. Okay. Endorsed product of the day. Came in late. Wire waffle. Hunter Francine, the inventor of the wire waffle. Okay. All right. So just to put it all together, just for craps and giggles, basics. We're talking basics. Basics Thursday here is here we got a box. It's a metal box. could be a plastic box, really doesn't matter. It's all about the count, okay? All about the count. So let's just say here, so we're looking at two ways. Let's look, it says a total 12 gauge, it says there's 12 in here. So let's just look real quick. So I've got 3 whites coming in. It's 1, 2, 3, okay? Got 3 whites coming in, we'll remember that. And we'll save the blacks for last. So 1, 2, 3, okay? Then we got 2 blues, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got 5 total there. And we only got 1, 2, 3 equipment grounds, so we'll get that one. So that's 6. Okay, all right. And then we got a device that counts as 2. So it's 6, 7, 8. And we're going to assume that these are 12 inches or more. So they're going to be a double volume if they are 12 inches or more. Okay, so if that's a scenario, then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and we got 12. All right, so if we had 12 and the volume is 2.25, 12 times 2.25 is 27 cubic inches. Well, remember that this box, we just looked it up, a 4x4 by 1.5. This sucker was only 21 cubic inches. Dude, you're trying to jam 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. You know what I'm saying? So in this scenario, this is where you can add a raised cover with a posted cubic inch to give me an extra 6.5 cubic inches. Add that to that 21, that gives me 27.5, and we just make it with a 0.5 to spare, okay? That makes this compliant. You put a flat cover on there, or you use a raised that does not have a stamped cubic inch on it. Got to be stamped to give you the cubic inches, by the way. To add additional cubic inches to the box. In that scenario, then hey, that can get you out of a pickle. Now, this is the same thing for a plastic box. You know, again, you can't put 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. It is what it is. Hashtag wire waffle, DJ Jones. DJ Jones, since you said hashtag, guess what's happening to DJ today? DJ is going to spin the wheel, and we're going to give DJ this to be added to this list that Jeff is compiling. I told you, you never know when Paul's going to do this kind of stuff. Everybody else, you missed out. DJ, I kept telling y'all, hashtag waffle. All right, DJ, you're in the drawing. Jeff is going to add you. That drawing ended on March 31st, but this is a special edition. I'm going to add you to it. You're going to be in the drawing for the estimating software. It's over $2,500, close to $3,000 value. We're going to add you to that drawing. And good luck. And the drawing, we'll announce it this week, the live show. But the registration is over except for when I do these little things that I do. Don't be doing hashtag waffle, wire waffle now because you missed out. You missed out. DJ, hit it. Hashtag he wire waffled and listen to me. Okay, anyway. All right, so let's see here. Let's do an example, and then that's pretty much basics for today. Let's see here. Okay, now, discuss how easy it is to overfill a standard nail-on non-metallic box with a volume of 18 cubic inches. Okay, let's show you how easy this is to happen. So I've got 3 12 AWG ungrounded conductors. So let's say I have, this is taking in 3 12 twos is what this appears to be, okay? So I have 3 12 twos coming into the box. So here it is, 3 12 twos, non-metallic cables in a box, standard single pole switch, require a volume of 20.25. So you take all the blacks or the hot conductors, okay? More of a pancake guy. Well, pancake, well, what do we call it? Wire pancake? Nah, I don't want to do that. All right, so that would be 3 times 2.25, so that's 6.75 for the ungrounded conductors. We have 3 grounded or white conductors, so 3 times 2.25, that would be 6.75. Then we have 3 equipment grounds. They count as 1. Count as 1. So it's 1 times 2.25. Add that all up, and we have a switch that is a double volume. And remember, it's based on the size of the conductors that supply the switch, okay? So in this case, it is 12 gauge that's applied. You've already accounted for the 12 earlier, right? Now we're just doing the device. So it'd be 2 times 2.25 because these 12s are going to that switch, right? So that would be 4.50. So we're adding it all up, okay? Creation's a waffle with is just a pancake with pockets to hold syrup and butter. I disagree. Pancakes are more soggy and soft and spongy. Waffles tend to be a little harder, a little more what we call open cell, has holes and voids inside of it, not just where the syrup goes, but inside the batter. It's a little different. Belgian waffles have a bit of a not as sweet of a taste as a pancake. Again, what the hell are we talking about that for? Anyway, 20.25 cubic inches. Obviously, if this is an 18 cubic inch box, you have a problem. So you have to change the box or try to find some extender. But obviously, if this is a box in the wall, that extender is not going to work. It's going to push you outside of the wall, and that is not good, okay? That type of thing. Also, important to mention for you guys that are installing luminaires that sometimes on these luminaires, you'll have smaller fixture wires coming down to the luminaire, and it'll have a dome, okay? So 4 or fewer luminaire wires, smaller than 14, that would be what goes down through your swag, by the way, and an equipment grounding connector can be omitted from box fill where they enter a box from the domed luminaire. So they're coming in through the dome, okay? If that's the case, don't worry, there's an exception to that, okay? You don't have to count these for that. They're entering this way, okay? So again, we're not talking about what enters the box through the wiring methods. We're talking about, oh, there you go. And of course, again, a lot of controversial people say, wait a minute, you can't splice in an LB. Yes, you can. Is if the LB is marked with a cubic inch. If it's marked with a cubic inch, absolutely you can do that, okay? Some LBs, by the way, will tell you on it, the bigger ones, will tell you the maximum size conductors that they permit in the LB, okay? That type of thing. So that can be beneficial if you're reducing size down, but we don't want to take an LB and do a, not reducing it down, but trying to go with a bigger raceway into a smaller LB. Then that's where you've got the markings inside of the LB that's going to give some guidance on that, okay? All right, still got to have your free conductor. And what is new for 2023 is under 300.14 to get your 6 inches of free conductor. In the past, it had to be 6 inches, flat out. Now, in the 2023, I'm allowed to splice it to get my 6 inches. So if your sheetrock guy screwed you, then you only got 4 inches of free conductor. Well, you're allowed to splice onto that and add an additional 2 inches to get your 6 if you want. That is acceptable, and I think we all did that, be honest with you. But at the end of the day, now it is just codified and you can do it, okay? Made sense, right? All right. These are just old hat. We covered these the other day, but I'll just make it really clear here. Obviously, this is NM cable. You're going to be securing it within 12 inches, especially with a metal box. You put a connector on it, you're going to be securing it in 12 inches. If this was a nail-up box that is not larger than 2 1/4 by 4 nail-up box, and it has no clamp on it, it's just to push it in through an opening, then you'd have to secure it within 8 inches. Y'all know that, okay? Right? In that scenario. Now, if it does have a clamp, you can go up to 12 inches, that type of thing. We covered this the other day, by the way. So just so you know, we covered it. And this is an example right here. So if you just punch the hole, then you'd have to secure it within 8 inches, okay? Makes sense? All right. Now make sure you've got at least 1/4 of an inch of that sheathing sticking down into the box, okay? Past the connector or past the opening. Makes sense? All right. There you go. So now if you do have clamps, like this 2 gang does, then you can go up to 12 inches. There you go. We covered a lot of this the other day, but again, might as well rehash it because we're done with tomorrow I have a different show for us. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I wanted to, we're just making sure we get the basics. One of the things that people screw up a lot, okay, is the opening around boxes. So in the depth of the box that you set back into the wall. Okay. So again, one of the things that people do is they'll, for example, a microwave, they'll cut a box in and they don't account for the depth of the cabinet. And now the box is sitting back. It's wood, it's combustible material. And now the box is set back more than 1/4 inch from the finished surface. Okay. It's not the sheetrock finished surface. If they put a cabinet up there, then that box needs to come out. Now, they have adjustable boxes that work. They do have plastic inserts or extenders that you can buy that work, a little plastic. My brother just bought a whole bunch of those in order to bridge the gap. In other words, it's just basically extending the box out. You know, theoretically, it's extending it out. But they do make boxes that come in and out. Now, you do have, if it's a combustible material, it must be flush, or you use those extenders. If it is a non-combustible surface like concrete, tile, even gypsum or plaster, then it can be down back up to 1/4 inch back. Okay, but if it is a combustible material, like if you have the gypsum wall and you put a cabinet against it and you're cutting your knockout, then it needs to come out flush with the wood. So that's where you get the extenders. So don't be trying to, I see pictures on social media all the time where they're set back and they take pictures of this, and I'm like, dude, it is what it is. You got to make sure that if it's combustible material, it's got to be flush. If it's non-combustible, then it can go back a maximum of 1/4 inch, and that's not a lot. Okay, that type of thing. The other thing is gaps. I know that you guys are saying, look, I can't control what the sheetrocker does. The sheetrocker is going to be cutting out my hole, and there's a gap on the side. If your gap around your box is what, greater than 1/8? Again, 1/8 of an inch, then that's a violation. Now, the problem is we can say, well, whose responsibility is this? Is it mine, or is it the sheetrocker? Well, to be honest with you, if it's in the electrical code, it is your responsibility. And so when you go back before you put that cover plate on it, then you need to make sure whether you're going to fill it with something, you spackle in there, caulk it, whatever the hell you do, you need to make sure that you don't have those gaps around your boxes. Okay, and this applies to your cabinets as well. So again, no gaps that are more than 1/8 of an inch around your boxes, your cabinets or whatnot, if they're going to be back into the wall, that type of thing. So fix it. Okay. Also, I think this is kind of funny. This is kind of funny. Right here, if you've got knockouts here, you have to use a knockout that's substantially equivalent to the side of the box. You can't leave these KOs out. That's a no-brainer. Kids could stick things through it. Rodents could get in it, yada, yada, yada. So you have to fill these openings. No, I love this. Duct tape is not equivalent. Okay, just so you know, duct tape, and I have seen this. I went into a Costco and looked up and saw somebody had duct taped. Cray says, do your best, caulk the rest. You know what? The funny thing about that is we just built this new home. And you don't think about it when you're here and you're builders, I wasn't here while they built it. So that was one thing. But you notice, you look at it and everything looks amazing until you get there for a while. And then you really start looking at things where they caulked and you go, that's exactly what they did. Do your best. And then they caulked the rest. I was sitting there going, maybe they didn't do it as nice as I would have liked it. That type of thing. Okay. All right. Duct tape. I was on an airplane that I looked out the window. Me and a friend of mine went on an airplane many years ago. It was a little puddle jumper. And I looked out the window. I was going there because they were trying to talk him into buying something and join a dealership. And I thought it was hokey. It was those, what are those things? KVAR. Those KVAR capacitor things. And I told them that is snake oil. So they flew me out there. Okay. And they flew me out there and I was disrupted their whole presentation. I said, y'all are full of crap. They threw us out and everybody left with me because I was like, I exposed them. You had to be there. That was a funny story. I'll tell y'all one day. I flew out there with this electrical contractor who was looking to invest, and I had reviewed it and I said, it's bull and I can prove it. And we went out there and they were trying to convince everybody that it saves energy in a residential and you should sell these things for people to install them. They're called KVARs and all this stuff. Basically just a bunch of capacitors trying to correct power factor, which you don't have the issue with that in residential. And most of the Energy Star appliances have that anyway. We already use capacitor banks in large commercial to offset power factors and totally different thing. But that's not what they were selling. They were selling snake oil. And their demo showed it running a motor and everything. And it's just running a motor. And they showed how it was energy efficient until I went up there and stuck something against the wheel of the motor and caused it to have some resistance. Once that resistance started, all that savings went away and they got to see what really the factor was. Load is the load, okay? And so they were so embarrassed. Anyway, they asked us to leave, and the electrician, who was their endorsed electrician, came out to me and was embarrassed. And he says, "I'm sorry, I knew who you were when I saw you, and I didn't want to say anything." He says, "I only install these because they pay me." I'm like, whatever, but don't be trying to sell people on this energy KVAR crap, which is snake oil. Okay. Anyway, anyway, whole nother story. But at the end of the day, we got asked to leave, and I saved that guy a bunch of money. But yeah, snake oil crap, that type of thing. Anyway, I don't know where I was. But anyway, there you go. So anyway, that's it today, folks. We are just over an hour. I'm going to be good stewards of your time today. Look for the special episode where we're going to do the drawings and give away your stuff that y'all registered for. And then next week, we'll start a whole new drawing. And maybe we'll put some word of the day, wire waffles. Maybe we'll put some wire waffles endorsed by Master the NEC, the electrical guru. Okay. Anyway, Wire Waffle. Check them out, wirewaffle.com. All right, folks, till next time, stay safe. God bless. Thanks for joining me. Join me tomorrow, a Friday special show. Talk to you later. Take care. God bless.